So back to this. So following the plan each week. So again, so do you get that there's a difference between avoiding, not making little mistakes versus again what you're creating is following a plan each week and therefore being consistent with your results.
Yes.
So okay, good. So Cap should really get that ingrained in you. And then what you would want to do is what system are you using? Because you're like a computer just like me. We have an operating system like a computer does, and we have a series of applications or plugins or let's say programs. So you would want let's come up with the Wryland program for consistency. But your willingness to come up with it will only exist the second you decide I am one who's consistent, or I will be consistent moving forward. Okay? Because it's not like this isn't like you're not trying. It's not like you're 3 foot tall trying to play basketball here. I mean, being consistent. What does it mean to be consistent? Let's go down that path briefly, just so we can you can manufacture some sort of system for yourself. What does it mean for you to be consistent?
It means every single day, no matter what, having probably I like to do 4 demos booked for tomorrow, and then 2 to 3 for the next day. So that I got a full day, and then when I do my phones or have a cancellation or whatever, I can fill my next day. So it's 1, having demos ahead, 2, committing to making those demos be there. I don't care about how many calls I make. I just want to have a number of demos in front of myself and not worry about the number of calls.
Okay, got it. So what you're saying, so basically consistency is you following the plan. Following the plan, as long as the plan was devised properly, the plan will create a certain outcome you desire. So step 1 is make sure the plan is truly detailed. And you said with Danny, I get that. But you'd want to make sure that you truly have each 168 hours a week pre-planned. That's phase 1. Quite often that's a breakdown. There's a lot of white space, like somebody say, I'm going to be consistent doing 4 demos. But I'm like, okay, well, when are you making calls? How many are you making? And this isn't just about being consistent with Cutco. You want to how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you want to develop the consistency muscle. So fitness, well-being. When do you eat? When do you hang out with friends? When do you just have veg time? Like you can put that in as an event. From like 2 to 4, I'm going to go ahead and do nothing, which is still doing something, and it's pre-planned. So phase 1 of this process is to have it truly detailed, like a truly see. Quite often we think we have a complete plan, but it's either you're pregnant or you're not, Wryland. So either you have a truly complete plan or you don't. Like imagine you have an assembly manual to build a desk and it's missing page 2, 4, and 8. So, but yet in your mind you go, no, but I got the assembly manual. I go, okay, well, but it's missing 2, 4, and 8. So quite often I found with FSMs or any rep or let's just say human beings really, even myself at times in my past, when I think I have a complete plan, I actually am about 90% of the way there. I'm actually giving myself too much credit. Usually it's more like 80% of the way there, So like GPS, imagine your GPS went down every 2 minutes. It wouldn't be reliable. You'd be all nervous and you'd be uncertain as to whether you'll get to your destination.
Yeah.
Okay. So step 1, have that. But now step 2, you could have the most detailed plan in the world. You could have an assembly manual to build a desk, but if you don't actually take the assembly manual, take the parts, and then physically take action, which requires energy to actually assemble that desk, the desk's not going to get assembled. So my point is step 1 is to have the plan, but then step 2 is what?
Execute the plan.
Exactly. So now you may have some sort of recurring world about the discipline in life. Recently put up a video. Well, we're going to be sharing it on our expertstudent.org site. I'm not sure if it went up or not, but it's about discipline. And I did it myself even. It was about midnight. I was jumping on a stationary bike. And I created a video because I had put off, going on the bike. And I tied it into also Matthew Kelly's concept of pleasure versus happiness. And you may or may not have heard that concept. But pleasure is like short. Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Happiness exists beyond the act itself. So my point is that once you commit to a plan, if you have integrity, you're giving your word to follow through on that plan. You see, unfortunately, I find people, they give themselves the option to not follow the plan. Let me say that again. And I'll include myself in this because this occurs for me too, we quite often give ourselves the option to not follow the plan. And so we almost torment ourselves each day selling ourselves on whether or not to follow the plan. But could you imagine, though, Ryland, if we took that option off the table and didn't even give ourselves a choice to not follow a plan? Then you'd have no concern about discipline or lack thereof, or you would have no concern about consistency either. So I find it's an integrity issue. If you give your word to do something, I don't care if you have the mood to or not, you do it. It's up to you to develop that muscle or not. That I call it the integrity muscle. Honoring your word. Integrity means your life is whole and complete. When I say your life is whole and complete, meaning the life that you want. Well, the life you want is really created by actions you're going to take. So if you give your word that you are a certain way and you will have certain things and your life will be a certain way, you're therefore giving your word, you'll take certain action. So in order for you to have a whole and complete life, like the life you want, you'd have to have integrity. In order to have integrity, you have to follow your word. So an idea of integrity is whole and complete. If I took the engine out of a car, would you agree that the integrity would be compromised in that car?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so the car would no longer be complete. You know what I mean? So just consider that if we say we're going to do something, you have a plan, and you're not willing to do it, in that moment you're out of integrity. You'd have to restore the integrity. So you'd have to put the engine back in the car for the car to work. And that's just a law. It's one of those things where you just can't disobey. It's like the law of gravity. I don't care whether you're in denial about it or not. If you drop something, it'll fall. So the integrity law is the whole complete thing. I don't care whether you're in denial or not about the engine being in the car or not. If that engine's not there, that integrity is compromised. That integrity it's no longer complete, that car. It won't work no matter how much you try to fool yourself. So review that concept with me in your own words. What did you get from what I just said about, I guess, discipline, consistency, integrity, that whole thing?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing that I got is like the giver. It's like, you know, I've heard talks where people say, well, sometimes we confuse ourselves with our language. We say we're going to do something, but we actually don't really do what we say. And it's like you're saying, we give ourselves that option out. And that's the key for me. I need to find a way to maintain that integrity, to not allow that compromise, to stay, be consistent, make it fail safe, and maintain that integrity. Say it and really do it.
Yeah.